I find this battle over the heart and soul of the Republican Party, which has neither, to be fascinating. What is the future going to be? And some are pretty sure. I mean, we're seeing this fight over Liz Cheney. She's almost certainly going to be replaced. I don't know, maybe by Marjorie Greene, it's possible. But I want to talk a little bit about that fight, why it's happening, and where the party is likely to go. A lot of it, I think, is summed up pretty well in this clip. We're going to show you Sean Hannity and Lindsey Graham.
Really, we're talking about the simple agenda, and you and I have discussed this at length, and that is, okay, what do we conservatives believe? Liberty, freedom, capitalism, lower taxes, less government bureaucracy. We want free and fair trade. We want peace through strength, secure borders, energy independence, constitutionalists on the bench, law and order, safety, security, free market solutions to healthcare, and choice in schools. Am I missing anything? Because if I am, I need to be educated.
Now, that's a pretty good American first agenda you just described. And what I said on your show got people all riled up, but it's just common sense. The most popular Republican in America, it's not Lindsey Graham, it's not Liz Cheney, it's Donald Trump. People on our side of the aisle believe that Trump policies worked. They're disappointed that he lost. And to try to erase Donald Trump from the Republican Party is insane. And the people who try to erase him are going to wind up getting erased. It's impossible for this party to move forward without President Trump being its leader, because the people who are conservative have chosen him as their leader. And you know why they chose him? Because he delivered. He was the most consequential president for national security since Ronald Reagan. He secured the border, he cut our taxes, he brought a new attitude of being an American. And the people have chosen him, not the pundits.
Okay, so really fast, I just want to note, he brought a new attitude of being an American. Is both arguably right and deliciously vague about what exactly that means. But anyway, Dan, they're talking there about why they have to cling to Trump. What do you think about that? Are they right about the base? Any attempt to move on wouldn't succeed? What do you think?
Lindsey Graham told the truth, which is like a rare thing for Lindsey Graham to do. It's just like he was flat out plain and simple. I think the funny aspects of that clip was that, like, oh yeah, Sean Hannity and Lindsey Graham were just like kind of yes-anding each other there. Like, of course, this is the thing we do. Everything you said was great. And the only thing I kind of took from that clip were the dog whistles that were just littered through there. Like, Lindsey Graham was doing like the full Pat Buchanan, if you will, of dog whistles and possible racist like undertones, things you could do. He repeatedly did the line, the America First agenda, which America First even to begin with is kind of like there was Germany first to begin with. Every country with a nationalist sort of framework usually has a country name first sort of mantra. And like you can do things that are for the good of your country and not sort of assert yourself as like the best. There's like undertones there that have to be there. But in case you can't be gone there, Trump can't be erased, like removed from memory. But like he called the Jews will not replace us guys very fine people. I would be a little bit more careful with the rhetoric there around erasure, considering a lot of Trump's base of people who are like America first and very nationalistic. They are people who are worried about some like mass grand replacement that people on Fox News talk about on a nightly basis. There are nationalist aspects of that. The people have chosen him. That's just like there's some sort of fascist undertones within that, because the people very much did not choose him. Only a group of Republicans did, and that group of Republicans didn't beat out, I guess, the Republicans who sat out the race or voted for Biden because Biden won and is in office now. And the great lie is just something used to get right wingers to sell Patreon subscriptions, essentially. So I hope people just take this seriously, because something really sinister is boiling in the Republican Party right now, and we called it.
Yeah. So the people chose him. Well, they did choose him in the Republican primary in 2016. The people generally didn't choose him in 2020, though. He lost that election. They keep forgetting that he lost that election, and I guess, like you said, they're trying to get clout and all of that off of the big lie. Right there, it seems like just saying it without saying it, like pretend that he was chosen, that he's still popular and all that. By the way, you can move on from past presidents. The Republican Party doesn't feel deferential to George W. Bush. He won 2 elections. I don't think most Democrats feel like you should constantly be talking about Barack Obama, although to be fair, Joe Biden did talk about Barack Obama quite a bit. But nobody expects that every national politician is going to model themselves on Barack Obama, and he won 2 terms. Like Trump won without even winning the popular vote, and then lost after being impeached twice, and they're all acting like, well, no, that's just eternal. In the year 3000, we're gonna be dressing up like Donald Trump still. It doesn't have to be that way in theory. And people like Liz Cheney, as reprehensible as they are in general, they still want the Republican Party to be in control. They just think it might be in our interest electorally to move on from this doofus who couldn't win re-election, which seems like there might be a point to that. Now, they might both be right. She may think that with Trump running again, we won't be able to win a national election. They may think if we turn to a different candidate rather than Trump, his base will abandon us, so we can't win that way either. I don't. Maybe they're both right, but this fight it's sort of sad. The lack of the level of devotion they have to a guy who lost them so much politically.
But the fact is, the level of devotion is true. The fact is the base is very devoted to Donald Trump. They're not gonna be devoted to anyone else but either Donald Trump himself or someone that he directly ordains, and he's gonna have an opinion about it. I think he had an opinion on the Kentucky Derby and some horse racing recently, all right? Like he's gonna have random opinions about things all the time. And so he's definitely gonna have opinions on like who is gonna be next in his political dynasty, whether it's one of his like failed children, which I think he said if he lost the election in Pennsylvania that he'd never talk to again. I assume that's going pretty well for all involved. But
it's
like
a continuing policy.
It would have been a good policy to begin with, would have kept him out of a lot more crime. But like I do think that getting back to the main aspect of what Lindsey Graham was getting at, this is Donald Trump's party, and everything Donald Trump stood for, everything Lindsey Graham, like Sean Hannity just sort of like rattle off of the teleprompter how clever of him throw football. Lindsey Graham just sort of like was like, yes, American force. He secured our borders. He brutalized people at the borders, what he really means. What America does Donald Trump and his base stand for? What America is Lindsey Graham and all of these like pundits on the right? What are they enabling? What are they putting into? What are they trying to stoke fear out of to get them to respond? As mass shootings are also rising. There's not a direct correlation there, but I mean, this is a violent country. They're using a rhetoric of fear, and this is when they feel the weakest and they will like squirm the most. So I don't like any of it. And all of these politicians and pundits know exactly what the hell they're doing.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.